This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Four minutes past the top of the hour, that is exactly 9 a.m. Many thanks for being with us on UBC TV. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Now, this is an extension of Good Morning Uganda that comes your way from 6:30 till 9, and we continue. But you must not forget to make it a date with us every weekday to start your morning with us here, Monday to Friday. And guess what? Well, very interesting discussions, very interesting way of opening up your day, because there's a bit of humor, some laughters, but yet we inform you of what is happening locally and internationally. We look at the papers, we have sports updates. There's so much. All I can say is a well-packaged, nutritious meal for you to start your day, and don't miss that. Packaged with information and laughters here and there, a few arguments, a few, well, just make a date with us tomorrow, and I guarantee you, you will forever make that wise decision. I'm Robert Kirabo Nyonyintono. It is the Extra, and this morning I want to handle something or discuss something that has become a global problem, but mostly a big problem for third world countries, including our motherland, Uganda. Youth unemployment. Many times people have told us that the challenge is our youth lack skills. They could graduate, they could stop at any level, but they're not employable. When you want to give them the jobs, they lack the skills that you need. They're not there to address the job market. Yes, you come out, you have a degree, but that degree has not empowered you to solve solutions, to create answers to problems. Because the world is all about problem solving. A person wants a door made, you can't. If you've done ICT, you can't have apps, you know. Problem solving remains a problem. At the end of the day, they are not employable, or they can't even start their own skills. To start, they can't use the skills they have acquired to start personal employment, self-employment. But at the end of the day, when we are letting them out, we say, may you go in peace to become job creators and not job seekers. Years down, they have done sociology. They have been on the streets, frustrated, yet educated. But also have another component of the youth, those that have not reached these high levels of education. But they are youth and they don't have skills. So joining me on set this morning is Tulia Tunga Bob Mayor, who happens to be the founder and executive director of Uganda Youth Skills Training Organization. Now, these impart skills on the youth to be able to face the world, giving his versatile way. It is happening every day. Bob, you're most welcome.
Thank you, sir. As you have said, my name is Tunga Bob Mahe, Executive Director, Uganda Youth Skills Training Organization, with its headquarters in Kampala, around Kasubi Tombs, inside the Church of Uganda, St. Andrew's Kasubi Church of Uganda.
So, it's even inside the church. Now, to begin with, what does your organization do in detail? It may be speaking out by name, but just a small insight.
Thank you, Mr. Kirabo. Uganda Youth Skills Training Organization, in short, it is USTO. And this organization was established in 2007 with an intention of accessing skills to young people, youth and women. And one of the reasons why it was established was after finding out that there was a very big gap regarding socioeconomic challenges within the targeted groups, as I have mentioned, youth and women. And after finding out, we decided to team up with other 7 members who are teachers and technicians. And we said we need to have this in place such that these people can be able to have economic independence, be able to have purchasing powers in terms of having their own funds, in terms of them being self-reliant, so that they do not rely on other people's decisions of perhaps begging, perhaps asking for support, but them being self-independent in terms of having their own skill as a resource or as an investment within them, so that they can apply it in other possible applicable means or situations that tend to affect them. Yeah.
Now, that said, yes, you're technicians, teachers. How do you pass on these skills, having realized the gap? And what kind of skills do you offer? Because the word skills is very big. I mean, it's not the end to it. So what is it that you offer?
First of all, my background is a technician, and I joined this part of trade when I really didn't want it, because I wanted to join like those courses of studying education at the university, but unfortunately I found myself joining these skills without having put them into my mind that that could be the trend or the way that I would go through, and it is one of the reasons why we started this. I had not liked to join this kind of trade, but later I realized that if I had not joined this trade, then I wouldn't be someone. After realizing that much of the time I could be having contracts and money, I also fixed into, or I just absorbed it by thinking, what about that person who is not having the skills? What about that person who is also undermining these skills? Because I knew that the university students, I knew that most of the people, even senior 4 dropouts, even those students that have reached at different levels of education, are looking at this looking at these skills as a way of just being dumped into that trade. As you know, traditionally they say that people who join these skills they are not clever, therefore they end up being pushed into that kind of trade. So after finding out that it was this kind of situation that the entire world is in, we decided to come up with this organization. And this organization has come up with different interventions, not only skills, but it has come up with different interventions like entrepreneurship.
Now, to go a bit slow on this, you said it wasn't your desired profession. And rightly said, many people today, I think, if I can read into your mind, you're talking about vocational training, where we learn a number of these vocational colleges. I also know that many people, if you ask them at senior 4, senior 6, going to vocational institutes is something they would not look up to. They'll look at running all the way to university, getting a degree, but not go to the likes of Kabasanda. I don't know which vocational institution you went to.
I went to Chisubi Technical Institute.
You went to Chisubi Technical Institute. And a number of them, actually, government has also invested much into ensuring that we have a number of technical institutions in various parts of this country. Now, and I know that hasn't changed even up to today. You can't go to any secondary school and ask students, how many of you would want to branch off at senior 4 and go to technical institutions? How many of you at senior 6 would opt for technical institutions? I doubt the hands would be many, if you may not return with none of these.
Sure.
And I believe it's the challenge you're also facing, even with these. How do we change this perception?
Thank you. The perception, it is in existence for a longer period of time. People tend to attach this to colonialists, but in actual sense, it is not, because colonialists also had come into existence with such interventions, because they will tell you that some of those traditional technical institutions, the colonialists had in the hand. Now, yes, the challenge is that us, the people, especially in African countries, we do not value naturally. We do not value the roles. We do not value someone taking the trend of taking the skill. As I have already told you, that these people, for them, They just think of getting the books, secondary, university. So in other words, they are counting as someone who is having a degree as the best person or the best cream of education in the world. And yet, in most cases, these people come up with no skills that do much with the market demand on the ground. Because you will find that there is a student who is doing mechanical at a certain university, mechanical engineering, but it will be hard for him to identify a shock absorber. But once you say that what are the uses of a shock absorber, this person will be able to streamline and think faster to or suggest more other functions of the shock absorber. But when you tell this person that can you please show me where the shock absorber is, that person won't be able to do what? To show you. Now, the only challenge that the people have is that they do not want to look at that side of skills. The only challenge is that these people that join these skills, they undermine them, they think they are the academic failures.
The dwarfs go to
the
institutions.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the awareness that we should create, we people who are already in this trade, is to make sure that these people are enlightened, are educated, are shown as like these programs. We need to put into place such a positions, such a platforms that these people be given examples. Like I have told you, if I had not joined this, then I wouldn't have gone somewhere. It's because I was forced. I want to tell you that I was forced. I never liked skills. I was forced. And to show you that I was forced, even the T-shirt that I was bought for to put on as school, it had a logo. There was a logo with a saw, with a hammer. I turned it into a rag for mopping. I never wanted to move with it down deep in the village going back. People don't know that Bob is in technical. So there is that stigma that these glowing, these studying academicians have got in relation to acquiring skills. And yet these are the type of the skills that we need. Funny enough, even a dropout student of senior 6, senior 4 will not be able so to push a wheelbarrow. Because it's having a stigma. The friends, the colleagues, the family friends, they are going to be looking at him as a failure that, hey, you know, Kirabo's son has joined the carpentry. And you can imagine when you talk carpentry, people think that you are going to work under the mango tree. But carpentry, when you are to analyze things, perhaps it could be almost the second heart of civil engineering. Are you getting me? So you will find that all these things, if these people are not aware of them, if they can't see people like us who have gone through this, I have thought I never wanted it. But it is because of carpentry and joinery that I came up with an idea. I said, yes, I have studied carpentry. I'm able to make a bed. I'm able to make a roof. I'm able to make furniture. But what other things can I put out from this? I said, I can come up with the word skills to offer it to other people who were thinking like me, also to take up this chance in a disguise because we don't need it. And we reached at a certain time where we said, if this skill is not being liked as it is, but why can't we areas with schools, primary schools, secondary schools, we enforce? Actually, the programs we were forcing them. We said, if you are able to work with us, you feel like you want to work with us, we are giving you one trade course. If you are taking carpentry, take carpentry. But what we need is girls and boys take that trend forcefully. But why were we saying forcefully? We never wanted to move up with this saying of a husband and a woman. Sweetheart, what do you want to eat? The husband says that you want to eat cassava. But you have not given a chance or an opportunity to ask your children what they want to eat. So in this case, we use it as a principle by saying we are not asking them, but for us, we know when we prepare them in this way, they will have something in the future. And we are forcing schools, that these schools, so we are forcing children under the partnership with schools that they should have any trade course that can help these people in the future. Because it is voluntarily turned into a youth when these people have nowhere to go. We have university students at our institution. They are there. They finished. They are there looking for jobs 10 years, 5 years, at last when they get to realize that there is nothing that they can offer with the kind of education they get from universities, they end up diverting, coming to take skills at a low level. We are taking different groups of people. We are taking those people who had never even gone to P1, and those who have finished university, but they have nothing to do. There are even those ones that have something to do, but in the evening they pass by to acquire a skill, because we believe that a skill is like a resource. A resource you need to have to produce something. So if you don't have this component of a skill, it means that there is nothing much you are going to offer.
Now, you've talked about the various groups that you are training or equipping with these skills. You've just talked about carpentry and is it joinery?
Carpentry and joinery.
Now, let's look
technology.
at other disciplines that you offer for someone to know. When I was in school, we had, I think we had woodwork, we had metalwork. That was at Ndeje Senior Secondary School, O level. Those two, we had them. We had even, I think, technical drawing, something like, yeah, TD.
Were you valuing them at that time when you were?
I did metalwork up to senior 4, but we were very few. Actually, the girls, we had only one girl doing metalwork, despite the fact that the teacher, Madam Namaganda, was a lady teaching us TD and I think technical drawing and metalwork. But what are some of these other skills that you offer?
Thank you, Mr. Kirabo. You see, skills, it is something that people need to spice well such that it can also have a value. At Uganda Youth, we have skills like, as I have already mentioned, carpentry and joinery. We have automotive mechanics. We have knitting and crochets. We have music, dance, and drama. We have tailoring. We have computer, that is ICT. And we spice those with the entrepreneurship. Why are we bringing in the component of entrepreneurship? We believe that I might have a skill with me, yes, but when I'm not able, or perhaps I'm not employed, I'm waiting for people to employ me to work on sites, but I move each and every day with my toolbox or with my tools on sites, but I'm not given a job. So we still believe that if you are given that kind of a skill, we also spice it with entrepreneurship such that you have the way of developing your own businesses. You have the way of developing, organizing, and running a new business generated within your ideas. So we have found it very compatible with this kind of the trade. Why? If you are not being employed, if you are not able to join other companies to work as a technician, to join like Rocco, to join like these other construction companies, you are able to have your own bench. Yes, you are able to have your own bench, start a business. People are there. These things are needed because, my friend, each and every day someone needs to change a clothes, to change a garment. We need to sit on bed, to sleep on beds. We need doors. So there is a lot of demand, only that even the institutions that are doing this are not able to impact these young people or these youth with enough knowledge. Even the youth themselves are not able to integrate, mix, and learn to apply these skills in situations around. For example, you might be a carpenter, but when you are not able to make this chair, someone tells you, I need a chair that can fit into this space. For you, because you know how to make a chair, you make a chair, and the chair is not fitting into the position. So that's why you are saying, the skills you are learning, applicable? Are you able to play with them and they meet within different situations depending on the market on the ground? Yeah.
And now, one of the things over time that I've learned with people who have skills, you rightly say today the world needs problem solvers. If I need a bed, then you can make a bed. If I need a piece of cloth, you can tailor one. But the biggest challenge in this area has been integrity and having the right ethics. Because you see, education, skills can get you anywhere, but discipline will keep you there. People will tell you mechanics, tailors, carpenters, plumbers, not so much. They're hardly trusted. You leave your piece of cloth and tell them it's to be worn on Christmas. They'll accept, you even pay. You either come, they are not there, they play pinky, ponky, mechanics. Today they fix, tell this is the problem disturbing your car. Then they remove the same, put the same. Carpenters, you just do a sample in an area where there are carpenters. Move around, you see, this one is quarreling, this one has brought police, you know, this one has made a wrong design. I usually pass via Zambia along there. People just quarreling these people. This is not the design I gave you. This is now 3 weeks, you've not even started. It is the element of integrity and discipline that can keep you in business. Businesses close and fail. We've had imported furniture come in Uganda, relatively expensive, less durable than what we make here.
Exactly.
Because for them, they will not cut a tree like this. They have, I think, sawdust, glue it together, then add something. It's not durable at all. But people run for it because someone will tell you, I'll rush in the shop, get that chair, have it home. I come, I give Bob my money, I give him the picture of what I have. 3 weeks down the road, then I have to involve police, or then I have to pay an extra to what we... How are you handling that element?
Thank you. First of all, you wanted to thank God. The time I joined the carpentry and the time I started becoming less in terms of production, I have never been demanded for an item. I started officially working in carpentry under the entrepreneurship business kind in 2000, and I slowed down in 2017. But all that time, I'm happy that there is no one who is demanding his product or her product from me. But I think this thing also needs, in as much as we want to educate people about the skills development, about yearning for development, for skills, about being ethical in doing things. We also need to look at churches, because people believe in churches. We need to ask churches also to take that part of component of ethics. Let them educate the technicians. The problem these technicians have, most of them are young people. And that is at a time when they think that they need money, and in that process they take money in not not the right way of taking it. They don't know that this money is for a client. What they do when they give you perhaps a deposit, you are making a product of 1 million, they give you a deposit of 800. What these technicians do, instead of buying timber, instead of stocking materials, they only buy varnish and nails. They buy things that will be needed at the end of the product, and at last they find when they have nothing on the ground to use. That's why in most cases you find that they are not able to deliver. But why am I saying that the church has a bigger voice in terms of inspiring, educating, and telling people? I'm not saying that it's only the church. We also need people us who like the carpenters.
Deliberate. I'll give you an example. Any journalist who did journalism and mass communication knows that we have a course unit that is media ethics. It looks at ethics and integrity of a journalist. Now, in your training, do you encompass this?
Recently, in the curriculum, there is nothing much concerning with imparting the ethics, but however, there are some smaller components like communication skills, etc. Perhaps where you could find things like that, talking to people very well, being a good customer, having that customership issues. But one time, I was an assistant lecturer at Kampala Polytechnic. Polytechnic, there was a course called special needs. That special needs was packaged in a way that it could have a lot of components that could help the technicians or could help these people on the ground that that can have them be well streamlined and get much information or knowledge in some things. But it was later scratched off. I don't know why. But it had things like HIV/AIDS, environment, you look at climate change, you look at E6, etc. You look on how you can bring communities together, but it was scratched off. So I do believe that if such a things are also packaged in such a curriculums, they could also help. However, the curriculums are still being developed, improved, etc. Perhaps at one time, such a component could be incorporated in one of the course units.
Now, I'll be going for a short break. When I return, we want to understand when you're imparting these skills, one, is this institution, do you examine, do you have a national curriculum that you look at, or is it just imparting skills and people go on their way and move along with these skills? We now have the Directorate of Industrial Training that, in my opinion, is doing a tremendous job looking at these young people who have skills, organize them, examine them, then give them documentation. So we will be looking more into that when we return.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. This week on UBC. Road traffic crashes is one of the leading causes of death among young people aged 5 and 29 years. In 2022, Uganda registered 21,473 crashes, out of which 4,534 people died and 15,227 seriously injured. 22 people die every 100 crashes, and on average, we lose 12 people daily. Legacy Road Safety Initiative, in partnership with KCCA, Ministry of Works and Transport, Ministry of Health, Uganda Police Force, Red Cross, Rosaku, Boda Boda Industry Uganda, have organized the second Road Safety Marathon for the crash victims to help create awareness, build cohesion among stakeholders, train first responders at black spots, and support a health facility. The marathon will take place on the 23rd of July 2023, starting at 7 a.m. from Nakasero Primary School grounds. Book your kits at 25,000 from Legacy Road Safety Initiative offices located at Old Kampala Chicken House, 2nd floor, room 18, or 8th Street, Safeway, Rightway offices, Total Energies, Ovino Mall, Boda Boda Industry Uganda, or visit www.lrs-initiative.org to register. Call 0752 605 479 or 0776 598 817 or 0414 698 675. Proudly powered by Daxi Driving School and Wava Water. Run to save a limb.
Break, and thank